Good afternoon, all. On behalf of IOT Academy, I welcome you all for the first session of National Level Faculty Development Program on Entrepreneurship Development and Startups. Let me introduce the resource person of today's session, Dr. Santosh Java. Dr. Santosh Java currently serves as an associate professor and head of the Department of Management Studies in Chintalapati Satyavati Devi, St. Teresa's College for Women, Eluru, Andhra Pradesh. She has a rich teaching experience of more than a decade. Her qualifications include BA, MCom, and PhD in management. She has actively participated in numerous international, national, and state seminars, conferences, and workshops, and has presented numerous papers on education for employability, impact of globalization, GST, the game changer for India's economy, and innovative methods of teaching strategies. Dr. Santosh Java has to her credit numerous publications in national and international journals. List of publications include Customer Relationship Management in Retail Banking, Gender and Tourism, and Jute Industry in India. She plays the role of Secretary for Institution Innovation Council, Ministry of Education, Government of India. She is also the Organizing Secretary and Coordinator for international conferences. With this, I hand over the session to Dr. Santosh Java. Ma'am, please. Sorry, ma'am, you are mute.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes. So I'm in midst of all the learned faculty here. Since it's a faculty development program, I'm expecting the audience to be all faculties, right? So you belong to different streams, and I would like to congratulate IOT Academy. This is a roadmap where the students can achieve, well-placed placements and all the courses that have been designed by IOT. So this is very useful and very resourceful, I can say. So thank you, IOT Academy, for having me here. And without wasting much time, I think we will start with our presentation. I would like to share my screen with all of you. Just let me know if you can see the screen here.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
No issues, ma'am.
Yeah. So I hope you are able to see my screen here. This is a session on how to become a good entrepreneur.
This is visible, ma'am.
Is it okay?
This is visible. Thank you.
Right. So here I would like to build up before going into the details. I would like to inform all of you that how startup is so important for all of us. And for that matter of fact, the government of India has come forward in taking a lot of initiative for helping the students with the startups. So every curriculum now in every institution, we are having something called startup. And this is something that has been, becoming a buzzword now. Every institution, they want to take up their students, they want to start something new, and that is related with innovation, creating something new, financed by, entrepreneurial founders, angel funding, all that things are there. So before we get into the session, I would like to give you some statistical data about startups. So here we see that India has become, a lot of the third largest startup ecosystem in the world after US and China, and that is something which is quite commendable. So there has been a record of more than 44 Indian startups that have achieved unicorn status in the year 2021. And as you know, a unicorn startup is valued for over $1 billions. That is how it is getting into the category of unicorn startup. And as we already observed that the number of startups are growing at 10% in India, that is quite commendable. And it has been increasing, from 1,400 startups in 21, it has increased to 14,000 startups in 21-22 from what it was in 733 only in 2016 and 17. So here comes the concept of who is an entrepreneur. Now, as I look into it, the aspiring entrepreneurs in India, they're always looking for some kind of role models or some success stories in order to get motivated, to guide people. We can count on tons of such success stories from various websites that we can kind of affiliate to, we can connect to. But most of these stories, they don't mean value to us because we are looking for real life success stories that we can learn from. So if you want to start a business, you would like to take up some kind of inspiration from these real life success stories of entrepreneurs to make your business successful, isn't it? So despite of these immense challenges of starting and running a business in the country, Indians, they have found their ways, the ways of perceiving things, persevering things, and innovating. So we Indians are quite innovative. We can create new products and services that has helped us to lift ourselves like from out of poverty because of our creativity. And in this particular webinar, we will be exploring some of the most inspiring characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. So today we will be looking at what are the successful traits of an entrepreneur. So who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is an individual who undertakes the risk associated with creating, organizing, and owning a business. So you see, despite of these immense challenges that we are having, people coming from small towns to big cities in search of other opportunities with the hope to make it big in their life, they are the ones who are trying very hard to, have a startup in these big cities. And that is because they may have the talent and the resilience to start something on their own. And that is a lot of courage, I believe, in order to start a business. So yes, the entrepreneur is defined as someone, who has the ability, the desire to establish, administer, and succeed in a startup venture. And along with that comes a lot of risk. Risks are entitled to these kind of business in order to make profit. So the best example of entrepreneurship is when you take up something new, a new business venture. So entrepreneurs are often known as source of new ideas. They are the innovators. So they bring out new ideas in the market by replacing the old with a new in a new form. That is what we can call us. So if you see in entrepreneurship, it can be divided into different types. So we have something called a small or a home business, and we can lead up to the multinational level. So the profits that an entrepreneur makes is with a combination of, the land, the natural resources, the labor, and the capital. So all these play an important part in order to start up any new business. So in a nutshell, I would like to tell you that anyone who has the will and the determination to start a new company, they need to deal with a lot of risk. They have to go with the risk in order to become an entrepreneur. So here I have a very apt slide which tells you that some people just want it to happen. Some people wish that it could happen. But others who make it happen are the true risk takers, and they are the entrepreneurs, right? So you may have doubts in the minds of, if at all you want to become an entrepreneur, you may have certain doubts in the minds. What are those doubts? Am I good enough to start a business? Will I be able to run the business on my own? What if I make any loss or no one buys from me? What if my business doesn't succeed in the market? What if my customers don't like my product? What if my customers go to my competitors? So these are many questions that may arise before kind of you take up any kind of business. That is for sure. And then you need to find out answers to these questions. So what are and how you are going to do that? So before I get into those answers, I would just like to tell you the different types of entrepreneurship. So we have classified entrepreneurship into four types. They are called the small business entrepreneurship, the scalable startup entrepreneurship, the large company entrepreneurship, and the social entrepreneurship. Now let us take the first one, which is the small business entrepreneurship. So we see, the businesses of a hairdresser, a grocery store, a travel agent. We can have, for that matter, carpenter, plumber, electrician, all these people who run or own their own business. They kind of hire family members or local employee to run their business, right? So for them, the profit would be just to feed their family. It is just for their livelihood. They don't look into much profit. They do not want to take much risk. The only aim is to feed their family. And they fund their business by taking small business loans or loans from their family and friends. So this is a very small business entrepreneurship who do not want to make it very large, very big. The second one that we talk about is the scalable startup entrepreneurship. Now, this startup entrepreneur starts a business knowing that their vision can change the world. They attract the investors who think and encourage people to think out of the box. So here, this is what is the buzzword. This is the scalable startup entrepreneurship is something that is the need of the hour. So the research is focusing on such scalable business, and there are some experimental models where they are hiring the best and the brightest of employees for this particular kind of a business. So here they require more venture capital. To back up their project or business, they require a lot of venture capital. And this capital can only be given to you once the investors feel that this is a successful business idea. So scalable startup entrepreneurship is what we are looking for. Then we have something called the large company entrepreneurship. So here we have huge companies. They have a well-defined life cycle. So here, most of the companies, they grow and they sustain by offering new and innovative products. So there will be some main products, but how new or how innovative it is the duty of these large-scale companies or large company entrepreneurs. There can be a change in the technology. Yes.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Can you please present the slide using slideshow?
Okay. Just a minute. Is it okay? Can you see the screen?
Not able to see your presentation now, ma'am.
Okay, just a minute. Give me a minute.
No issues, ma'am.
So just let me know if you can see the screen now.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it there?
Yes, ma'am. This was.
Okay. So yes, I was talking about the large scale company entrepreneurship. So here they use the technology, the changes in the customer preferences, the new competition. These kind of build a lot of pressure for these large companies to create something new, an innovative product, and to sell it to the new set of customers, to the new market. So here, in order to cope up with the rapid changes in the technology, they either buy innovation enterprises or they try to construct their product internally. So now and then they try to innovate, they try to put in some new features to their products in order to sustain or to be there in the market. And the last and the most interesting, and which is also in very much into fashion, is the social entrepreneurship. So this type of entrepreneurship is where you are producing product and services that are able to resolve the social needs and the problems. So there may be, some kind of problems in the society. You try to give solution with the help of those business products. So their only motto and goal is to work for society and not to make any profits here. So, there are aspiring entrepreneurs, a countless number of entrepreneurs who have an interesting and innovative and compelling business ideas. But do you think all of them have the skills or qualities to carry it through? Does all the business ideas, are all the business ideas successful? The answer may be no. There are many skills and qualities that you need. So sometimes what happens, you may have all the skills and qualities, but you may not have the right idea, business idea. Or sometimes you have, all the ideas, the brilliant ideas, the necessary skill, but then also you fail in the project. Maybe because the attitude of being an entrepreneur is not right, or maybe you do not have access to funding. So, the successful entrepreneurship, they require a blend of all these components. What are those components? You need a blend of your skills, the qualities, a bright, brilliant idea. You also need to have proper funding, right? So the good news is successful entrepreneurs are not born, they are made. So with the right kind of training, with the right kind of instructions and development, everyone has the potential to become an entrepreneur. So now we will be looking at what are the personal characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. So here comes on your screen: persistent, creative, responsible, and inquisitive. So if I tell you the most common reasons for an entrepreneur's failure or the business closure is a lack of determination, lack of persistence. Now, what is persistence? Not giving up, keep trying. So many a times when we fail in the business, we say, I don't want to carry it further. I don't think so. I'm good at it. Or there is a lot of loss that I have to bear with it. So those who are not determined to persevere until they succeed, they tend to jump from one idea to another and they encounter a lot of difficulties. So if you don't try to overcome the obstacles, none of your ideas will have a chance to develop into something successful. Is it not? So successful entrepreneurs talk about the hardship ways of dealing with them. And sometimes they also do it with a lot of creativity. You always have to hear that you always hear this, there's a long road to the top. Yes, but perseverance is not limited to the early stages of personal career. Sometimes you have failure that can occur, and after that you can have a period of success. So it is not that every time you are failing, you will not be successful. Maybe if you do not give up, you may have a longer period of success after that. For that matter, I would like to tell you about a very famous entrepreneur, Steve Jobs. If you have heard his success story, he achieved great success at a very young age. When he was only 20 years old, Steve Jobs had started Apple, his company, in his parents' garage. And within a decade, the company blossomed into $2 billion empire. However, when he was at the age of 30, the Apple's board of directors, they decided to take the business in a different direction. And at that moment, Steve Jobs was fired from the company. He himself created, and he was fired out from that company. And then Jobs found himself unemployed. He didn't know what to do. But he treated this as a freedom rather than a curse. So what happened? Even if he lost his job, he took this time to self-introspect himself. He treated this freedom where he got some great ideas. And in fact, he only said that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that has ever happened to him, because it allowed him to think more creatively, and it kind of re-experienced the joy of starting a company. So here we see how he was persistent enough. Perseverance was there. That was the roadmap to his success. And at the same time, he utilized this, his unemployed days to be a little creative and to come out with something new. So the second point here is creative, looking at new ways of doing things, developing solution to problem. So a creative entrepreneur is someone who actually uses his creative, or your intellectual knowledge and your skills to earn a living. So usually these creative entrepreneurs are in business, or they are freelancers. So this is quite different from the traditional entrepreneurship that is only focusing on manufacturing products. But here creativity is something else. It takes you to a other level only. And in this respect, I would like to give example of a very famous entrepreneur again, like Walt Disney, if you have heard of him. So if you search for Walt Disney, you may find great quotes, everything which sums up about creative entrepreneurship. So I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing. If you see from the movies and the theme parks of Walt Disney, there are only like Mickey Mouse, the Disney products. All these came from Walt's creation of a Mickey Mouse. And that too, when he was on a train trip from his home to New York, he kind of visualized this. And he used his imagination, his creativity to build an empire that started with just a cartoon mouse. So you have all these Disney products, a big amusement park, Disney World. All these things started with only one small cartoon character, which was a Mickey Mouse. Is it not so interesting how you look at the ways of doing things, developing something very new and creative? The third personal characteristic of a successful entrepreneur is responsible, doing what you are supposed to do, being held responsible, accountable for what you do. So the responsible entrepreneur is anyone who will help to bring new business into the world. At the same time, they can fulfill the promise of entrepreneurship and can contribute to the creation of a better world. This is very important. You being an entrepreneur is not everything. You have to have are responsible towards building a better world. And for that matter, who can just forget the contribution of Ratan Tata? He's not only a successful business leader, but I guess he's an ideal role model for responsible, authentic, and integral entrepreneur. I'm sure many of you would agree to this. So Ratan Tata and his group of companies, they have bigger purpose, that is nation building and creating employment. That is very close to Ratan Tata, while he's also having this operational efficiency and profitability. But if you look at the statement, the purpose statement or the mission statement of Tata Groups, it says that at Tata Group, we are committed to improve the quality of life of the communities we serve. Yes or no? So anyone who visits Jamshedpur, you will know what is the meaning and the purpose of the statement and how well this statement has been expressed and executed there. So this is one of the best personal characteristics. If you at all, you are very responsible, you can be a very successful entrepreneur. The next one is inquisitive, asking questions, seeking answers. It is more of like being curious. Curiosity, if I say, is the heart of entrepreneurship. And this is where it's like a driving force, behind every new business ideas or opportunities. So curiosity is like how to do, what to do, when to do, why to do. So many questions, coming. It helps you to, channel out of box thinking. So entrepreneurs need to be curious. They need to be, fully engaged with the world around them. When the things are not working as they wish it should be, then here the entrepreneurs gain an understanding of how things will work, and they come up with a lot of solutions. Finding these solutions. For finding these solutions, you require curiosity. This helps you to study the problem from different angles, multiple angles, and then you inquire about how to get better results. So when you're curious, you're present, you're observing everything around you, the entire world around you, this kind of activates your mind. Yes, there is where you have this active state of your mind that leads to discovery of new ideas. So I think that curiosity basically opens your mind to all the new possibilities, right? So curiosity will help you to find answers, real answers to the question, solving the problem. Even, you don't even realize, but out of curiosity it all starts. So curiosity leads to questions, and questions leads to answers, and those answers lead to deeper understanding of the world around you, about the business opportunity to solve problems. And if you are, staying curious, it also makes learning fun. You see curious children, curious students. Nobody knows everything. It is only the curious people, they are very humble, they have very open mind. That leads to greater knowledge. The greater knowledge allows them to find solutions to a lot of problems. So this curiosity will also help you to handle any kind of failure or fear of failure. So when failure is, an outcome, you can first learn from your mistake and then focus on the future instead of past. So this is where the curiosity will help you. It is like the greatest weapon, against fear or failure. So being curious allows you to welcome surprises, even the negative ones. So as you seek to discover what works and what doesn't, this curiosity is nothing but willingness to acknowledge failure, and then it is setting a basis for learning. So I analyze curiosity as something which helps you to foster productivity. So why do you do things the way you do? If someone asks me, to someone who isn't curious, the answer is like, because that's how it has to be done, is it not? If I ask you, why do you think the way that you do? Because this is, I have been taught, I've always done them like that. But a curious person is not satisfied with this kind of answer. They make you analyze not only what you're doing, but how you're doing it. So they will come out with a lot of questions. That is this task worth the resources it is taking to complete? What is the purpose? Does it serve? What purpose does it serve? Is there any other way of doing things? So this is what helps you to be passionate about your work. Curiosity, makes you passionate about your work. So this is what I think, that curiosity will keep you passionate, and the passion will be very much evident in the type of business that you take up. The other characteristics are goal oriented, independent, self confident, and the risk taker. So coming to goal oriented entrepreneurs, you achieve the maximum
Sorry,
result.
ma'am. Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. The slide is not changing again.
Uh, just check. I think I just went to it takes little time maybe. Is it there?
Ma'am, no, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please present the slides using slideshow option, ma'am?
I'm doing that only. Is it not visible to you?
No, ma'am. The slide is not moving. That's why.
Just just let me know if you can see the slide. I started from the beginning and I'll just.
Sure.
Is it visible, ma'am?
It is visible, ma'am, but it is not being displayed as a slideshow, ma'am.
What do I do? But at my end, it is on slideshow.
Okay.
Is there any way? Um, is it okay to continue with this?
Okay, ma'am. No issues, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Right. So I hope it is audible and it is visible to
Yeah,
everyone.
yes, ma'am. It is audible and visible, ma'am, but we are not able to see the slides in full screen. That's fine.
Just let me try once more.
Yeah.
Just try to see. Tim? Is it there, ma'am?
Yeah, we are able to see the slides, ma'am. No issues, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay. So coming to the other personal characteristics of successful entrepreneurs, it is goal-oriented, that is focused on developing a plan and achieving your goals. So here, when you have goal-oriented entrepreneurs, they try to achieve the maximum results from the efforts that goes into the business. So, due to the fact that they work towards clear and measurable targets, these entrepreneurs are architect of their own business. So they accept responsibility for the long-term success and they work towards clearly, towards a well-defined goal, which is very, very essential. So here the main characteristic, if we see, is how you can achieve the goal that you set. And that is what everyone looks for in order to become successful, right? Then we have the main characteristic of being independent. So what is an independent entrepreneur? Basically, his purpose of making profit, the financial risk, the extent of business activity and publicity, all that thing, it should be independent. He should be able to work or act alone, doing things without supervision. So he takes the whole aim of the business only for the sake of making profit. And he is the one who independently tries to cover up all the financial risk also. The next two are very important again, the self-confident entrepreneur and a risk taker. So an entrepreneur, you should have self-confidence. It is not just about, feeling good about yourself, but it is how you can have reasons to attract people towards you. So what can benefits your business can give? The reasons is very much evident in the way the entrepreneur exuberates this confidence. So you will, if you are a confident entrepreneur, you will always make powerful decisions. Okay, so when making decisions about your business, you feel assured that you're making the right choice, and that can only be done once if you're confident. If you do not have that confidence level, you may not be able to take good decision. You may be, kind of in between, whether it's a good decision, bad decision, whether you have to go with it or not. So a very confident entrepreneur, he allows you to, trust your instincts, and then without self-doubt or fear, he goes ahead. So in this world, when it is everything is changing so quickly, the biggest risk you take is not to take any risk at all. So if you want to start your own business, you need to be very comfortable with taking risk. So entrepreneurs, they take risk because they are necessary to start and grow a business. And without risk, there is no gain. So there are a lot of risks that an entrepreneur might face. Like, for example, you may take up a job. You may start doing a business by leaving a full-time job. You may have a steady, constant paycheck, but then you enter into business. So that is one risk. Then you may use your personal savings with no guarantee of return on investment. So that is also one type of a risk. misjudging any interest in a product or service. There can be many times, when you think that this product or service is going to be a hit in the market, it doesn't work that way. So there can be also risk of misjudging and putting trust in the co-workers. Many a times when we start a business, we try to, you know, put all our trust, we trust blindly in our the co-workers, the people with around us. So that is also one kind of risk which may not work every time. And giving away the time, your energy, the sleep, the ability to enjoy your personal interests, etc. All these things are also greater risk, and these you cannot just kind of calculate these risks. These are something that comes along when you need to grow a business. So different types of risk are there, which you need to take. There can be competitive risk, there can be financial risk, there can be market risk, the technological risk. So there are many ways you can, you need to mitigate these risks and make them more likely to turn into rewards. And that can only be done through by a successful entrepreneur who is a good risk taker. So what you have to do, you have to do a lot of research, marketing, planning. All these things should be used when you are, calculating your risk. The next slide talks about what are the skills needed to be a successful entrepreneur. Very quickly, I will go through this. So we need to have communication skills. That is quite necessary now. The possessing the ability to read and write. So speaking in understandable manner. It should be accurate. It should be very professional. So communication skill will help you to leverage your daily work with your vendors, your investors, your customers, growing your team. So that is very much needed. Then you have the human relation skills, the ability to build and maintain positive relations while you're working with others. So this is very, very important. Without the touch of this human relation skills, you may not be able to work in a team. And the other one is the math skill. I will not say only the math skill, but it can be a combination of your, data driven accounting basics. All that things will come into it. Basically, your logic and reasoning, where you can calculate, have the skills of calculating the profit. Apart from that, you may have certain organizational skills. Your time management skills can be there, problem solving, decision skills, your technical skills, and the basic business skills, where you understand, have the knowledge of the economy and the business functions, especially in terms of marketing and management. So these are few of the basic skills that should be possessed by an entrepreneur. Now comes the main obstacle. What we see as adversity that you may face.
We are not able to see the current slide now.
Just a minute. Now, can you? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible, ma'am. But when you switch on, move on to the next slide, we are not able to. See
Maybe
the
it takes some. Maybe it takes some time for you to connect. I think from my end, maybe it takes 2 seconds like that. Now, is it okay?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Can you please share the presentation, ma'am, so that I will be presenting?
You want me to send it right now?
Yeah, is it?
Now there are like few slides left only, so
Okay,
I'll
ma'am.
carry on. Not many are left, so we'll just go through quickly. Right. So, what are the challenges or what are the obstacles of potential entrepreneurs? If you see entrepreneurs, they face a lot of what you say challenges, something which is impossible to predict, and there are basically 8 challenges, and you should know how to deal with these. So, the first one is idea. the challenge of starting a business is well known. And here, what kind of ideas would work? How do I know whether this idea is working or not? That is very, very important. So there are entrepreneur issues that may vary because of ideas. So the entrepreneur's first challenge before starting a business is to uh, avoid any kind of mistakes on terms of ideas. So how do you do that? For getting this idea, you need to have self-assess and research. That is very, very important. Whether these are realistic plans, these are realistic ideas, how profitable it is going to be. You have to assess yourself to determine whether you have the energy to pursue this idea, whether this idea can be turned into a right kind of a business with the right skills and strength of the job. So that first thing is your idea. So idea without action is nothing. So many of us have ideas, but if we do not put into action, you cannot be successful at all. The next one is money. Money is the lifeblood of any business, as we say, finance. So how much money should be raised in order to start a business? This you have to test and you have to examine. First of all, you have to know your budget, you know how it should be, and then you have to narrow and focus your monetary or financial aspect. So you have to make some stakeholders in order to make your company or your business successful. And this you have to give them the correct business idea so that they will be interested to invest in your business, because we cannot put everything. Our investment may not be sufficient, so finding the capital before even we get to worry about the cash flow issues, on entrepreneurs needs capital to get off the ground. So this is one of the most significant problems that is faced by the entrepreneurs, particularly those who are trying on their own, who are not well connected with the angel investors. So without enough financial resources to start your business, it may fail. So you will need the capital, you need space, you need equipment, you need infrastructure to develop and produce your own product. Then comes acquiring your material. From where to get the material? At what cost you have to get the material? So any business cannot run if you do not have the raw material. So you have to know how much, from where you have to, who are your suppliers, who are going to provide you with those raw material, what should be the price that can be given for the raw material. So you have to be very, you need to have thorough research done, where you try to find out who are the people who would help you with the material. That is very, very important. Manufacturing, how to manufacture. So if it's a product or of a business, you need to know how you are going to manufacture it. So you need to have the technical know-how. So without having the technical know-how, without having the budget and the plan, you cannot work. So consider working with people who have the technical know-how first of all. If you need to produce something, if you need to manufacture something, you need to be very patient with others. You need to find out the right people who will be helping you in the manufacturing process. Because you see, if I want to start a business, I may not have the skill of manufacturing it. So for that reason, I need to, appoint someone who can help me to manufacture it. And next comes the pricing. At what price should I sell the product so that I can make enough profit? What should be the profit margin that should be added? How do I know what price the customer is willing to pay? So before we jump into the business, we need to have this market research, which is very, very important. You have to find out what are your resources, and then you need to find out whether the budget and the plan that you have kept is suitable for you, and how you are going to place the product in the market with a certain price. So you have to give people the space to actually experiment with your products and services. And then at the same time, you have to consider the market situation, the different business environment that you have around you, in order to fix a particular price. So based on your competitive prices, based on the different business environment, how you're going to put this pricing, and this pricing will include a lot of other approaches also. So how much is your expenditure? You have to cover all that in your pricing strategy, right? So you have to know what is the price that will be suitable for a particular product of the company. Marketing and advertising is very, very important. So how would I tell my customer about my business? How I'm going to attract them to come to me? So you need to hire talent. You have to find the right people who will help you to do that, right? So here, when we are in the age of technology, social media, nothing is impossible. But yes, it you cannot just say that if I put everything, my business into social media, I will be a successful one. No, you have to have, you need to find a good salesman who will be resourceful, aggressive to get customers to buy your product. You must also market yourself, your company to your potential investors. So you need to consult the banks, the investors in your particular area. You need to look into the public platforms. So you have to approach your family, friends, people who are seeking investment or connecting with you, willing to invest. And then at the same time, they are the people who are going to spread a word of mouth, a publicity for them, if they truly believe in your skills and vision. So your skills are very valuable. Your persistence, your hard work should be admirable by most of the people. And then only it is how you will be able to market your product. Selling. How would the customer buy from me? Will the customer come to me or will I go to the customer? So, here we have the online selling and the offline selling coming up. So, you have to decide, what kind of method you're going to take up. Being an entrepreneur seems all fun and exciting, and sometimes it is, but most of the time, you're battling self-doubt. Do you have enough resources to be an entrepreneur? Are you able to shake off all these feelings of low confidence in you? Do you have the spirit to foresee things and struggle if it is not working out? So you have to be very careful with your selling aspect. Accounting. How do I keep track of the money I'm spending? And how do I know whether I'm making much profit or not? So here also is a time where you need to appoint a resourceful person who is going to help you with budgeting, planning, and also accounting. So cash is always running for entrepreneurs. So you should be able to guard it very carefully. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to ensure that your revenue is consistent, and you want to see that you have enough cash to pay your employees, you have enough cash to invest. So all these things have to be delegated to a person who can do it perfectly. So you have to trust your team members who will be doing this for you, handling things for you. Standing out. How can I be better than what is already available in the market? This is very, very important. How do I add value to the customer? So here will be the position where the customers will learn to trust you. They will try to narrow out all the other options if they are happy with your business plan or business products. So you here you have to be, again, once again, you have to believe in your skills and your vision. You should have skills that are valuable, and here you have to seek support of your customers to make you stand out. So before you jump in, you need to have a good customer base. That is very, very important. With an entrepreneur mindset, you also need to know who are the right people to work with it. And you cannot just put a business overnight, and you cannot be successful overnight. So many of the times, slowly it takes a lot of time, even decades, in order to build your business. So but you have to add value to your customer and do something which is different from others in the market. And that is how you can grow your business and you can continue to get better. So how can I grow my business is something which is very, very important. So you don't be fooled by people who suggest only one thing, stopping you from being successful. No, it is being entrepreneur is a big challenge. How to grow a business is even a bigger challenge. So you have to believe in your skills, you have to believe in your vision, you have to keep reminding yourself that you are not failing and you're doing good. So that is how you have to grow business, by adding something new to your ideas, having a good teamwork. Well connected teamwork should be there, and enough capital or cash flow should be there, which will be helping you to reach to your mission, your goal of the business. So that is how you have to consider broad. You have to have more capital intensive approaches. You need to have them based on the results that you see. So all these things will help you to uh, test and examine whether you are able to make the business well, whether it is going to work, the idea is going to work well. So even though marketing is a challenge for entrepreneurs, but sometimes building a brand through marketing, it can be very expensive. And once you have brought that into the mobile, social media, print media, then your work becomes much easier. So you can grow easily. So if you see the slide here, life is about changing and growing. So we cannot be just a caterpillar. We need to open our wings, and we need to be a butterfly. If we don't change, the life, the people will not help us to survive. So if you have any idea to start, or any startup ideas you have an opportunity to start up with these answers. This number of questions that you have to answer these questions about your skills, about yourself, analyze your strengths, which plays a very important role in achieving these goals. So the questions that we have will help you to kind of be certain about yourself. Are you going to start your business independently? Do you possess the required mental strength and self-confidence? Are you prepared to take independent decisions? First, you need to analyze yourself. Are you capable of planning? Are you flexible enough to change your planning if necessary? Can you manage financials carefully? Are you prepared to work 6 to 7 days in a week, or for 12 to 14 hours a day? Then you need to assess your skills. Are you able to mix with people? Do you have the skills to run or start a business successfully? So whatever skills we have talked about, did you ever work as a supervisor? Do you have any kind of experience? Are you trained to run a business? So you need to answer to those questions and follow certain standard success rules. So whatever job you take up, you have to do it sincerely. Do not let dissatisfaction come to you. So we should plan everything accurately, study everything possible. Wherever necessary, we need to be flexible in order to complete the job, and studying the customer thoroughly. These are important tools for your business to grow. So remember these keywords: energy, enthusiasm, excellence, execution, and experience. So these 5 E's are very important for you to be a successful entrepreneur: an energetic, enthusiastic, excellent, brilliant ideas, execution of those ideas, and having experience. And then you need to inspect your qualifications. What are your educational qualifications? What are your passion towards work? What is your uniqueness? So all these things should be, helping you to introspect yourself. So if you would like to ask any question, the forum is open. And I would just like to conclude by saying that you should be aware of all the age-related pitfalls in advance, so that you can be prepared to overcome them. So perseverance and enthusiasm, they go a long way to help you, smoothen your route to success. So only one piece of advice to the budding entrepreneurs: keep your patience high. your attitude upbeat, and the success is yours. There is no looking back. You will be able to get what you want if you are able to persevere your goals. And this is only the beginning of your long, fruitful career. If you at all you uh, try to take as an independent business owner, if you want to be an independent business owner, it is a long way that you need to go, but with patience, with perseverance, with the right skills and attitude, you can go a long way. So, any question on the forum?
The session is open for discussion now. You can unmute and interact with the resource person, or you can post your questions in the chat box also. Ma'am is there to help you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to interact with all of you here. And I would like to know whether it was fruitful for you, the session was fruitful enough, because I guess all of you are faculty members, or there are any students also here in the group. Ma'am, I think there's no questions. If at all there is, they can contact me, or you can contact me if they have any doubts. Thank you, Chandrasekhar, sir.
Any questions? You can post in the chat box also. I'll read it to ma'am. Or you can unmute and interact with ma'am. She's there to help you.
So I don't think so there is any question here, ma'am. But I would like to thank IOT Academy for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with everyone. Um,
Shall we wind up, ma'am?
as you say, ma'am, I'm done with the presentation. I hope it was informative.
Questions from their side, ma'am. So, shall we wind up? Ma'am?
Right. Thank you so much.
On behalf of IOT Academy, we thank Dr. Shantosh Java for the enlightening and enriching session. We thank once again for the excellent presentation, ma'am. We thank you for clearing the concepts related to entrepreneurship and enhancing our understanding with your commendable session. We thank you very much for your efforts, ma'am. We thank all the participants for joining the session today. Thank you all. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We can end the meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Welcome. Kindly submit your feedback using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all.